Welcome to Fox 10 Outdoors with Jason Smith, sponsored by McConnell Automotive.
Little morning fish here. And this morning we're fly fishing for brim and bass in a farm pond here in Mobile County. And this is something I grew up doing with my father and my grandfather in Mississippi. It's a great way to catch bass in the summertime. You just have to go early. And a fly rod allows you to throw a real small light bait. In fact, this fly here is small enough to catch both brim and bass on. It's a little popping bug. And a fly rod's totally different than fishing with a conventional rod. The weight is in the line instead of the lure. So you create momentum with the line. And try and get that bug as close as you can to the bank. And you can pop it a little bit, gurgle it, trying to attract some fish. I'm going to start out on this stretch of shoreline here, and just about any lake or private pond or even in the delta, this is a really good technique in the early morning in the summertime. And what I do is usually just get the fly as close as I can to the structure or the bank. Sometimes the brim take a little while to wake up, but the bass usually bite right away. There he is. Yep, good fish there. You get a big fish on, you want to use the reel, but when it's a little one, I usually just strip the line in like this. That's a good keeper fish right there. If you were keeping fish, this fish is going to be about a pound. And this is a 5-weight fly rod, so you get plenty of action. Feels really good. It's not comparable to an ultralight, but it would be comparable to a light action rod. And when I'm fishing for bass with a bass popping bug, a bass-sized popping bug, when I'm using a smaller fly, I like a tapered leader, but this is just a regular straight 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. And there we go. So a bass, you can just grab him by the mouth because his teeth aren't sharp. It's just a little bit like sandpaper right here, top and bottom. And when you open his mouth, that paralyzes him, relaxes him, and he'll sit still, and then you can take the fly out of his mouth. And you can see he really wanted that fly right there. Look at that. See how he got that thing down deep? But got a pair of pliers, and I got it right out, and we're able to release this fish and get him back in the lake. That's a good fish to catch on a fly rod in the morning here on Fox 10 Outdoors. And so I've switched gears to a popping bug that is smaller and more ideal for bluegill and brim. Oh, if you don't think a brim will put up a fight, pound for pound, they're definitely the strongest fish in the lake. Especially when you catch a hammer like this one right here. Now this is a bass. I switched to this smaller bug thinking I'd catch some big brim, and I will. But you still have an opportunity to catch a bass on a smaller fly. I just got to take my time with him because it's a little hook and it could come undone pretty easy. This fish just got an attitude. Yeah, I see you, buddy. He wants to jump. This is my best bass of the morning on the smallest fly. Look at that, right there, good bass. And he inhaled that popping bug right there. Hold on, I'll get it turned around again. He took that fly almost down into his belly. A couple of pounds. Real good bass to catch on a fly rod here on Fox 10 Outdoors. All right, I'm gonna take he inhaled it, but I'm gonna get it right out of there. Bass have a nice big old mouth. You can hold their mouth open and it helps you get to the fly real easily. Yep, nice bass right there this morning to get things going. There he is. So it's usually a real visual thing. I mean, you see the fish come up and eat the bait, and then you get to feel the fish too. It's a bass. It's a good bass, and you kind of slurped it. This is a great way to catch a fish. You got a long limber rod, and you've got a You feel them in your hand. You know, you can see my left hand here's got the fly line in it. And that's how I'm actually retrieving the fly. And this fish may be a couple of pounds. Yeah, he's a good one. We'll just pull him up alongside. I may have overestimated him a little bit. They sure feel better on a fly rod. Again, another real hungry fish, taking it pretty far in his mouth there. Fly fishing for bass here on Fox 10 Outdoors on this beautiful morning. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith.
Fox 10 Outdoors is sponsored by McConnell Automotive.